The God of War series is absolutely goated and everybody knows it. I have played and completed them all except for the PSP releases, and I figured it's about time I did that. This time, I'll be earning every achievement in the process. Welcome to RetroAcheivements. RetroAcheivements is a game changer. It's a whole new way to challenge yourself, spice up your playthrough, and even revisit those old favourites with a fresh perspective. There is a total of 40 RetroAcheivements worth 516 points, requiring a minimum of 3 playthroughs. Sounds easy enough, right? Step 1 is to complete the game and find all of the collectibles. So with 19 story related, 6 collectibles and 2 missable achievements, and that'll put us at a total of 26 achievements out of 40 for the first playthrough. Not bad indeed. So with that introduction out of the way, let's jump straight into the video. The game starts off with a cutscene of Attica under attack from the Persians. I guess I've never heard of Kratos before. The Persians are tearing through the city and Kratos is the one-man army sent to push them back. This whole section doubles as a combat tutorial, and after mowing down waves of soldiers and literally blowing up a Persian warship, a hulking troll bursts in like he's the hero of the game, but before we even have time to think, he gets absolutely bodied by the Basilisk. A slick quick time event later and we unlock Give Them Nothing for shoving the Basilisk back through the gate. A few minutes later we have our next boss battle, the Persian King. After a bit of excellent banter, the King's reign ends abruptly, unlocking the But Take From Them Everything achievement. A fitting tribute to Kratos' brand of diplomacy and granting us the Effort ability. Next up is our first missable achievement. We have to entertain these ladies. And just like real life, it takes me several tries, 0 eye contact and a questionable button mashing technique to seal the deal, finally earning an I mean everything achievement for my efforts. After the entertainment, I get back to business and wouldn't you know it, the Basilisk is back. But this time we're not just facing it with blades, we've got a ballista missile locked and loaded. One clean shot and Kratos gives the Basilisk a firm sit with the Down Boy Down achievement. Now we're on to another missable achievement. Time to line up the ballista and fire a missile at the building in the distance. No achievement yet, but we'll get there soon. Back on the battlements, we make our way across a makeshift ramp, slicing through guards like it's nothing. And there it is, the hole from the earlier ballista shot. We unlock the achievement Happy Little Accident. A couple of minutes later we finally make it to the town centre, and wouldn't you know it, the Basilisk shows up once again. As soon as it spots my big bald head, it doesn't even hesitate. It turns tail and bolts. Not exactly the terrifying monster it's cracked up to be. Now it wouldn't be a God of War game without a little weight-based puzzle, right? So we grab a crate and set it on this pressure plate and drag a poor civilian's body over to the next plate to unlock the next part of our path. After that puzzle we head indoors, crack open a few chests and it's time to take down the Basilisk once and for all. First we push him back, forcing him to retreat onto the battlements, and then it's all about precision. A quick time event to bring him crashing back down and we slam a tower right on his skull. We do this one more time, a few more slashes with our swords, and then the last quick time event, the Basilisk goes down for good, unlocking Basilisk medium rare achievement, and just like that the fight is over. With that, the true story of the game finally begins. Kratos looks to the sky shouting at the gods.
Is this all you would have me do? Is there nothing else?
In response, the sun falls from the sky, plunging the world into darkness.
What treachery is this?
As if he didn't just tempt fate itself. Turns out it's the work of Morpheus, the god of dreams. We don't know why yet, but it'll all make sense soon enough. Once we've regained control of Kratos, we upgrade our weapons. After levelling up the Swords of Chaos, we unlock our next achievement for upgrading our weapons for the first time. In God of War, red orbs drop from enemies as we defeat them. These orbs act as a currency of the game, and the more we collect, the stronger Kratos becomes. Turns out we're in the city of Marathon, and it's overrun by hordes of the undead. These enemies are way tougher than the Persians, with a new moveset we'll need to learn to counter. They come at us with 2 blades plus a few archers thrown in for good measure. After making quick work of the undead, we push forward through the city and stumble upon a thick, black fog. We grab a crate that's on fire, using it to light our way to the gate. Once we head through, we turn left and open a chest to claim our 5th Gorgonite and a health meter increase. This unlocks the Visions of Power achievement. We head back to grab a torch and set a cart on fire, allowing us to progress. But of course archers start firing from all directions, but we make quick work of them and keep moving forward. Don't forget to open the chests along the way, and inside this one is our 5th Phoenix Feather, which increases our magicka and unlocks the Embers of Magic achievement. Here we face our first Morpheus beast, and at this point I had no idea what the proper technique was for taking these guys down, but after some trial and error I figured it out. Stay close and parry when they strike, rinse and repeat, and eventually the beast goes down. We clear up more enemies as we push forward, eventually making our way to the Temple of Helios. We unlock the Seeking the Light achievement for reaching the temple and beginning our search for the Sun God. Now we finally learn why the world's been plunged into darkness. Dine appears to Kratos and tells him Olympus needs him once again. Helios, the god of the sun, has been torn from the sky, and with his absence many of the gods have fallen into a deep slumber. And once again, it's up to Kratos to save the world. Heading deeper into the temple, we're contacted by another god, Eos, speaking to us through a statue. She warns that this conspiracy goes beyond just Morpheus. The Titan Atlas has been freed from the pits of Tartarus and is planning to use Helios' power, though we're not quite sure why. Eos tells us to claim the Sun Shield from Helios' throne room, so we do what Kratos does best and smash the throne to pieces, picking up the Sun Shield, unlocking our next achievement, Claim the Light. We use this Sun Shield to unlock the next doorway and climbing the staircase, which I swear gave me Snake Eater flashbacks.
What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night.
We're back outside and face off against another wave of undead and Morpheus beasts. Make quick work of them and a trapdoor opens, revealing a staircase leading deeper underground. I head down and my game crashes. I cautiously head down the staircase again, hoping the game holds together this time, and find myself in what I hesitate to call a puzzle. I just need to push a couple of statues onto pressure plates at the end of the hallway. Embarrassingly, I spend a solid 5 minutes running in circles before realising it actually opens a path on the left. We align the statues with mirrors at the end of the corridor and reflect sunlight using the Sun Shield to complete the puzzle. This unlocks a strange key beneath a horse statue, and that's part 1 of the Temple of Helios complete. Back in the main hall, we detour to the right to grab our next Gorgonite chest before heading left through the mirror and into the caves of Olympus. Now we hit the climbing wall, scaling past the statues on the right and claiming Triton's lance, unlocking the Going Swimmingly achievement. This gives Kratos the power to breathe underwater. We swim through a maze of underwater tunnels, snagging some phoenix feathers along the way, and flip a lever that shifts a statue to reveal a hidden path. Out of the water and back onto the climbing wall, this time we head left. Straight into a door and straight into an armoured minotaur. He looks tough, but I'm still playing on baby difficulty so he doesn't last long. Inside we meet Eos, who makes 2 compelling points. She sends us off to retrieve the primordial fire, he to reach in the remaining steeds. We dive into the water again before moving forward and into the fire chamber itself. The statues here come to life, but all we need to do is reflect their flame burst right back at them. Do that 3 times and they explode in a dramatic fashion, unlocking the Flames of Creation achievement. We dip back into the water and retrace our steps through the same mirror we used to enter the area. Using the Sun Shield, we unlock a new door and ride up another elevator. Cue the combat section. This time it's all harpies and they can be taken out with a simple grab, so naturally I grab away. Now this next bit took me a minute. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I got there eventually. After clearing the area of enemies, we need to move these statues into position so the beams of light bounce perfectly off of each one. Once everything's lined up just right, we reflect the beam using the Sun Shield and hit the stallion statue, causing it to rise from the ground. We use the Sun Shield, slotting it in like a key, and just like that, part 2 of Helios' temple is complete. Back on the main path, we climb the staircase and one of the statues is already locked into place, so we shove the second one over. And then I spend another 5 full minutes running around like an idiot, completely missing the next step. Eventually I cave in and pull up a YouTube guide. Turns out you have to break the statue, and then you can climb on top and use the Sun Shield to reflect the light. This triggers the stallion to rise, letting us slot in the shield one final time to lock it down. And with that done, the Temple of Helios is sealed for good, thank the gods. Upon leaving the temple, we hear that haunting flute again, and this time Kratos recognises it. But there's no time to reflect, the undead are waiting. We cut through another legion and for the first time come face to face with a Gorgon. These things are a nightmare on god difficulty, especially when they start showing up in pairs, but we'll cross that cursed bridge when we get to it. For now we line up all 3 light pillars with the fire steeds. Channel the Sun Shield through the floor and awaken the stallions, unlocking the Hellbound Horses achievement. On the climbable wall, try not to get tossed off like I did.
What did he say?
And a wave of enemy spawns mid-climb. They're hell-bent on making sure we don't make it to the top, but once we do, we're greeted by 3 Gorgons, a fight that was pure agony on god difficulty. Progressing deeper into the underworld, we smash through this wall and surprise surprise there's a Gorgon just hanging out behind it. No idea what she was doing behind there, but we make quick work of her. In this chest next to her is our final health upgrade collectible, unlocking Petrified Resolve. And just like that, I never have to say Gorgonai again for the rest of this video. Moving on, we take down 2 Hyperion guards, unlocking a doorway that leads us to the ferryman of the underworld himself, Charon, the one who carries souls across the rivers of Styx and Archeron. Unfortunately, he takes one look at us and refuses passage. Turns out you have to be dead to get a ride, and Kratos isn't quite there yet. So begins our next boss fight. I give it everything I've got, but it's not enough. This fight isn't meant to be won. Our defeat is written into the story itself. Charon finishes the job with a final brutal blast, and the achievement "You Shall Not Pass" pops as he casts us down into Tartarus. We awaken chained to the wall, but no chains are strong enough to bind Kratos. Instead of heading up, we head down for our final Phoenix Feather, unlocking our last magical upgrade and Arcane Rebirth. The goal now is simple. Escape Tartarus the only way Kratos knows how, by carving a path through an endless wave of enemies. Eventually we reach a crumbling throne room. Kratos being Kratos boots the throne clean off the balcony and picks up the Crypt Keeper's key. We make our way back down to ground level, place the Crypt Keeper's body on the way to platform, and up comes a lock mechanism from the floor. Slotting in the key unlocks it, and just like that a bridge appears, giving us access to the other side. After slicing through a few more Hyperion guards, we finally claim the Gauntlet of Zeus, a massive brutal weapon, and unlock the Talk to the Hand achievement. We put my new favourite weapons to good use, smashing through walls and statues like they're made of paper. To move forward, we have to use the shackles of the Titan and use them as a makeshift passage back to the surface. We activate 3 massive levers, each one adding just enough slack in the chains for the Titan to break free head first. With our exit now wide open, we make our escape, only to find out Eos was right all along. Atlas has been freed from Tartarus. And with that revelation, we unlock the
Who would release such evil?
achievement. We use his massive gears to traverse the chain, swatting away the handful of enemies brave enough to get in our way. Dropping down to the next set, it's more of the same until a chain blocks our path. With the Gauntlet of Zeus in hand, he punches the chain clean across the canyon, turning it into a makeshift bridge like it was always part of his plan. And with that, Kratos begins his climb back to the surface, unlocking the Hell and Back again and again achievement. This time it's the real fight. No scripted loss and no mercy. Charon comes at us in 3 brutal phases, retreating to the upper platforms to heal after each round, but Kratos isn't having it. Shatter the pillars quickly enough and you interrupt the healing process. Do it 3 times and the ferryman is finally vulnerable. Kratos rips a scythe from his bony grip and slices him clean in half, or so we think. Charon clings to life just long enough for one final stand, but we send his own attack hurtling back at him, he drops, and then one of the more satisfying quick time events in the entire God of War series. We obliterate his skull with a barrage of circle button mashing, and just like that, Armor Captain now pops, as Kratos finally claims his passage to the other side. As the ship drifts closer to the shore, that familiar haunting flute begins again, and there she is, Calliope. Kratos catches a glimpse of his daughter, but before they can reunite, she vanishes into the distance. Determined to find her, we press on, but before we do, it's time for the final upgrade. And with Charon's mask reaching level 3, we unlock Chaos Made Flesh, the achievement for fully upgrading all weapons and magic. Kratos is now at his absolute peak. We enter the Temple of Persephone, a brutal gauntlet of combat rooms, each one harder than the last. All the while we catch fleeting glimpses of Calliope, always just out of reach. I'll break these fights down more when we get into God difficulty, because trust me, they're a whole different beast on that level. And once the gauntlet ends, we climb this long staircase, the final stretch just ahead. We ascend the staircase into the groves of Persephone, and she offers us what Kratos wants more than anything in the world, a chance to be with Calliope again. But to earn his place in Elysium, we must become worthy. We do this by casting away our weapons and renouncing the evils of our past. 3 times we cast our powers into this forsaken tree, each time growing weaker and more pure. With a 3rd offering, we unlock the Fields of Elysium achievement, and Kratos is finally free. Reunited at last, Kratos holds Calliope in a moment of true peace, a soft embrace, a father and daughter together again, but it's short-lived. Persephone appears and reveals the truth. She's the one who freed Atlas and gifted him the power of the sun. Her plan, the destruction of Olympus and the world. Even Elysium will fall.
No! I will not let the gods take her from me again!
But there's no choice. To stop Persephone, Kratos must take back his powers, and in doing so condemn himself once more to the nightmares he tried so desperately to escape. And then comes the most heart-wrenching moment in the entire game. Press circle to push your crying daughter away. It's brutal, it's unforgiving, and it's pure God of War. To reclaim our strength, there's only one way forward. We must strike down the souls of Elysium. Each swing, each soul shattered, slowly brings back the ghost of Sparta. Hordes of the undead try to stand in our way, but even in his weakened state, Kratos is more relentless. One by one they fall. And then at last his full strength returns. Ghost of Sparta pops, and the name has never felt more fitting. Kratos turns his back on paradise and he leaves Calliope behind forever. Because there's no peace for a man like Kratos. We sprint up the staircase, catching Persephone just in time as she launches into the sky. As we soar past Atlas mid-swing trying to destroy the Pillar of the World, it all comes to a head. The final boss battle begins. And don't worry, I'll break down every brutal second of the fight in the God difficulty section, which took me over 3 hours and cost me every piece of my soul. But that's for later. After the first phase of the fight, Persephone tries a different tactic. She seizes Kratos, attempting to lull him into an eternal sleep. But it's not just a dream she's calling on. She summons Atlas. He tries to crush us, but he's not fast enough. We hitch a ride on his massive hand, dodging each crushing blow and striking back, chaining the Titan once again to an eternity of suffering. Weight of the world pops as Atlas is forced to carry the earth on his shoulders forever. And now it's just us and Persephone, one on one. Her attacks come hard and fast, but we stay light on our feet. Every radiant orb she throws is sent back her way, and eventually she weakens, drops to her knees, and we close the distance. Again and again we reflect her power back at her until she can't stand anymore, and then, one final furious strike. She falls, Dreams of Spring unlocks, and with that, Chains of Olympus is complete. But the pain has only just begun. God mode awaits. Before we get on to God mode, we've got to do the Challenge of Hades. In this mode, Kratos is thrown into an arena and forced to complete a series of unique and demanding trials, each success unlocking the next one. In the first trial, we're locked in a chamber with a bunch of Persian warriors. To defeat them, we can only use the effort, and anything else will result in an instant failure. Trolls will also spawn, but they're not part of the objective, so take them out quickly. Don't touch the chests until the magic's nearly empty. Conserve your magic, be smart, and you'll be good to go. The second trial is arguably the toughest one. You'll face the Fire Guards, agile enemies from the Temple of Helios who double wield blades and flip around like hyperactive ninjas. I opted for the Gauntlet of Zeus as this attack doubles up as an AoE attack at the same time. Keep your space, don't get cocky, and unfortunately there isn't much in the way of help, just patience. Third trial, Kratos is constantly losing health, and there is 3 waves of enemy to clear before he collapses. There are 5 slaves tied along the wall at the back, killing one gives Kratos a health boost. The first wave is a Minotaur, the second wave is a swarm of harpies, and the third wave is 3 Hyperion guards. If you manage to save your magicka, throw the fireballs at the guards for a safe and easy takedown. It's a race against time, so time your heals, hit hard and stay calm. For the next trial, you're surrounded by a ton of breakable objects, pillars, statues and gorgon heads. And you've got less than a minute to destroy them all. Use the effort as soon as you spawn in, taking out 8 objects immediately, and R dot forward and use the effort once again, taking out 4 more objects. Making my way around the room using the Gauntlet square attack to sweep through. Most objects will break in 1 hit, but the large statues and gorgon heads take more. Keep moving, don't waste swings and you'll make it in no time. The final trial is the most straightforward and arguably the easiest. You'll face 7 waves of enemies with no time limit and full access to all your weapons and magic. The only real challenge is surviving for 10 minutes without messing up. Use the health and magic chest only when absolutely necessary and you'll breeze through this marathon without much trouble. And that unlocks there can only be one for beating the Challenge of Hades. Next is the 3 miscellaneous achievements. We get Dressed to Kill for starting a new game with an alternate costume, and I picked the Spud of War outfit, purely to help with the next 2 achievements. Get a 500 hit combo and a 1000 hit combo. I just spammed the fireball at the Basilisk, unlocking All Powerful, and then shortly after unlocking the Sorry, No Secrets achievements. Now we have one final achievement before the God mode run, the Speedrun achievement. Users recommend them at Kratos costume, so that's what I've opted for, which increases our power damage. Honestly, it's pretty simple. I did it on my first attempt, unlocking Haste of Hermes for completing the game in under 2 hours. And now, the dreaded God Mode run. This is God Mode, and the achievements are to beat every boss on God difficulty without taking damage, beat the game on God difficulty, and to keep this at 3 playthroughs only, do the whole thing with no upgrades. All 3 achievements are to be completed with no previous data, so let the torture begin. The first real test is the Basilisk. This little icon in the corner means the no damage challenge is active. If it disappears, I've been hit, and that means starting the fight all over again. This battle took me just under 10 minutes and only 7 attempts. Not brutal, but it's still tense. Dodge the flame breath and block the chomp, and don't mess up any quick time events either. These count as damage, and one button press means it's reset city. Once it was over, I unlocked the achievement, It Was Already Blind. Next up is the Persian King. Took me over 15 attempts, just under 13 minutes. Same deal, if this icon disappears, I've been hit. And it's not just the king, even his grunts can void the run if they land anything. A stray slap, a sneeze, and it's back to square one. He's got 2 big moves to watch out for. One is the flaming sword lunge, and the 2 is his effort fire blast. Combine that with endless grunt pressure, and Kratos is dancing about like he's walking on hot coals. Best strategy is to keep your distance. Wait for an opening, get in and hit fast, and get back out and repeat. And just like that, a gold box to the skull, and the Tonight We Dine in Hell achievement. Final Basilisk fight took me 11 attempts and 17 minutes. And the worst part was every failure means re-watching the same cutscene. The fight itself is familiar, dodge the fire breath and block the chomps. There is a quick time event where Kratos gets slammed into a wall, but this doesn't affect the achievement, just don't fail it. 2 towers to the face, final quick time event, and finally the Basilisk is done for good, unlocking the Baptism of Fire achievement. The Sparta battle is where my optimism decided to die. Multiple waves of them, all armed with claws, aggression and zero respect for personal space. They block and they dodge, and the worst part, these bomb throwers. I cannot begin to describe how much I hate these guys. Every attempt starts fine and very quickly descends into madness. It took me 33 minutes to figure out a strategy, and by strategy I mean scream, roll and hope. Then there's a lift, you're locked in with Sun Warriors. You'd have thought I'd learnt some kind of technique from the Challenge of Hades missions. It wasn't so much as difficult, but it was me making stupid mistakes time after time. It took me multiple attempts and 30 whole minutes to successfully descend 1 floor. This battle is a pain in the arse. The first Gorgon is a piece of piss, but like I mentioned earlier in the video, once they show up in pairs is when the real trouble begins. You try attacking one of them and the other one uses its stone gates. It really seems borderline impossible. You can get maybe 1-2 attacks on if you're lucky before entering a dodging session, and if you're unlucky enough to be turned to stone, the Gorgons will smash you into pieces, insta-killing Kratos. 27 agonising minutes of dying and I finally complete this section. These 3 sections so far have been harder than the 3 previous boss battles, and the game is only going to get harder. This battle with Charon took me 1 hour. Remember, I cannot receive a single hit of damage, otherwise the achievement is voided. The battle itself is simple, but I'd get cocky and make stupid mistakes. Probably the reason I've never completed a Souls-like. I get too greedy. Phase 1 is to dodge his scythe attacks and reflect the orbs back at him. And for Phase 2 he has a new attack, the Breath of Charon. Do not attempt to block it as it will insta-kill Kratos. Instead do your best to dodge his attacks, looking out for a change in his animation to signal his upcoming scythe attack. Phase 3 is simple, in theory. When Charon is at the end of the arena, get to the other side. You can jump to dodge his shockwave attacks if you want to feel safer, but it's not necessary. When he transports to the centre, you will have to jump over the shockwave, jump as close to the centre as possible, and wail on him with the Gauntlet of Zeus. And after an hour, you better believe I nearly broke my circle button caving in his stupid face. Gatekeeping the Gatekeeper unlocks, and I can finally breathe again. So this is the Temple of Persephone, which I skipped over during the initial part of the video, because it kind of deserved its own section because of how bullshit it is. There are a couple of rooms that are a bit of a pain in the arse, but I'll be highlighting the 2 most difficult ones here. 1 troll and 4 harpies. Doesn't sound too tough, right? But guess what happens after you kill him? 2 more spawn in, and it's a tiny room, so it's difficult. Nearly 40 minutes it took me to do this. Obviously I want you all to remember I cannot upgrade a single thing during this run and everything is base. But I've discovered a pretty solid tactic. break the armour and wipe out the harpies. Then you're going to want to equip the Gauntlet of Zeus, 2 strikes, dodge away, 2 strikes, dodge away until the first one is defeated. Next, 2 more spawn in, and I figured out if you lure one to the top of the screen, the other one kind of stays away. So use the same technique on this guy, killing him and rinse and repeat for the third one. Speaking about it like this sounds like a piece of cake, but living the stresses of trial and error was a nightmare. Speaking of nightmares, the Armoured Minotaur room. And what is there to say? This room feels like you're being flayed alive, and at the same time water's dripping on your head, with white noise blasting into your ears, while flies lay eggs in your eyeballs, all while somebody tightens your bollocks in a vice. Nearly 2 fucking hours in this godforsaken room. 2 hours of my life I will never get back, and 2 hours of my life I could have spent literally doing anything else. This is the technique. Lower them into the bottom of the room, the other one backs away. I have no idea why this happens, but it works. Equip the Gauntlet of Zeus and triple attack. Dodge into the Minotaur, triple attack and dodge. The timing has to be so precise. If you're still interested in earning this mastery yourself after that, then maybe a no damage Persephone run will change your mind. 2 hours and 30 minutes. But that was just phase 1. 2 hours and 30 minutes. This battle is all about timing. Timing your parries perfectly. Dodging these Rockshi kicks at us is easy peasy, but parrying the attacks is not. So we dodge Persephone's rock, strike twice fast with the Gauntlet of Zeus, parry, wait 1 second, no more and no less, parry and get into some quick strikes and repeat. I also really struggled with some glitches during this part, and no, it's not bad gamer excuses. Sometimes Persephone would launch into the air when she isn't supposed to, causing me not to see her attack coming. Or she'd get stuck on some random object in the room and then suddenly spawn right in front of me. It was a disaster from start to finish, and after finally getting Persephone down to half health, I unlocked the Fall from Grace achievement and I feel a sense of serenity wash over me. Just shy of an hour for the second phase, and I'll own this straight up. I was getting sloppy. The mistakes were all me. Stupid mistakes and cockiness were getting the better of me. I got into the zone and focused, not letting Persephone get the upper hand a single time. Firing my own projectiles as well as her own back at her, gradually bringing her health closer and closer to the bottom, until it finally happened. She was weak enough for the sun shield, the end was in reach, actions speak louder than words pops for completing the game on God difficulty, the God of Reflection for defeating Persephone's second phase, receiving no damage. And finally, the Gods Tremble for completing God mode without a single upgrade. I ran in to tell my partner and I was so happy. The pure joy I felt in that moment was surreal, and I cannot remember the last time I pushed myself with a challenge like this, and it was finally done. The final achievement is for watching some in-game videos about the game itself, unlocking Spartans Do Not Skip for watching them all the way through. The final achievement unlocked and the mastery rightfully earned, taking me 33 hours and 52 minutes over 6 days. Thanks for watching the video, and if you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing. Feel free to leave me some suggestions in the comments, and until next time, peace.